Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF. Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Collision. TWF Rampage or Ram Crew. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone, and with Paulie Dangerously here. And today on Collision or Hit, we are we're going to have Father Yule here today on Collision or Hit, Michael Cole says. And I know some folks are going to say that it's the 11th month, Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving Day is the next holy day or holiday coming up next. But what comes after it is Yule for the Christendom folks, gathering of lights for the Jewish folk, and a gathering of followership for the non-black Christendom folk out there. Michael Cole says. Well, that's right, Tony Schiavone says. Michael Cole, Father Yule's going to be here today on Rampage or Ram Crew, and it's good to see what he's going to say or what he's going to do, Tony Schiavone says. I'll tell you right now, Paulie Dangerously says, I wish we had Gathering Lights Harry. Light Gathering Harry. Like you got Father Yule for Yule. I wish we had Gathering of Lights Harry for the Gathering of Lights. So, by the way, this year, the Gathering of Lights for us Jewish folk are going to be happen on the same day that Yule happen for you Christendom folk. Can you believe that one? Paulie Dangerously says. Both unlooked holy days happening on the same day, the 24th. 25th. Can you believe that? Paulie Dangerously said, yeah, I can believe it, Michael Cole says. It's just how the day books are written, And now we got Father Yule in the ring. Ho, ho, ho. Happy Yule. And also, happy gathering of lights and happy gathering of followership. I, Father Yule, also known as Santa Claus to many other folks, Father Yule to others. And I know that it's still too early to think about Yule. I know many wireless folkworks aren't really playing Yule songs yet on the wireless, but soon they will. I know that a lot of folks are doing their Yule shopping or their Gathering of Light shopping or their Gathering of Followership gift shopping right now. But I want to tell everyone, that I want to wish everyone, and let them all know. And I gotta go on reckoning here because a lot of folks think that I only give out gifts for Christian folks who do Yule, which is the birth of Jesus. I also give out gifts for the Jewish folk who do the Gathering of Lights on looking the 8 days and 8 nights that they had enough lighting ooze to light up their worship house for those 8 nights when that happened. And also to unlook those non-Christian and black folks who do the Gathering of Followership who believe that it's, in their belief, wrong to be in a Christian, believe it's wrong for anyone to be in a Christendom worship because they believe that some of them believe that it was put upon them, a long time ago. But whatever the grounds is, who believe, whatever their grounds is, for whatever their holy day is, I do give gifts to all of them. Only you stop to think of it, I gotta keep coming back to the Jewish folk because I gotta give a gift out each night instead of one night for Yule. And then I gotta do the same thing for the non-black Christian folk who, their holy day has eight nights too, so then I gotta give out 8 gifts on that. And it's not even done because then there's Eastern Christendom does Yule in the first month and not in the 12th month. So I'm doing it again there. But I just want to let all you folks know that I do give gifts to everyone. No need what their worship is or is not. And that God and Jesus love all mankind and all womankind, and atoned for your sins, and love you. No need what your worship is or is not. Why don't you shut up, Father Yule? You have no right to speak about any other worship because you are from Christendom. And you're not even a true follower. When I stop to think of it, you got nothing to do with the Christendom worship at all. The Christendom worship happens to be for the non-Jewish followers, those folks who believe in Jesus, who was the Son of God. That's their belief, you know. We believe he was not. We believe we're still yielding for him to come. But you can't speak about any worship. You can't speak about the gathering of lights. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Yeah. Hell no that you never came those 8 nights when I was doing the gathering of lights, and you still are not showing up to give out those gifts on those 8 nights. Hell, you don't give out gifts on Yule. You don't give out gifts in the gathering of followership. You don't give out gifts at all. You're folklore. You're made up. They took Odin. They took Holy Fellow Nicholas, who, by the way, was a true man, who was a holy elder, who gave away all of his, who helped the needy and helped the unwealthy and helped the sick and did a lot of good things. They took all that, slammed it together. There's Father Yule. And then the Coca-Cola business thought, hey, we got to shift you up. They gave you the red hat, red coat, red longs, black shoes, white gloves, and they said, there you go. It's true that I have nothing to do with Yule, or the gathering of lights, or the gathering of followership, or any holy day or holiday. But I do onlook everyone in their worship, and their beliefs, and their holy days that come along with those beliefs. But to come out here and shame me, when I did give out gifts to you, every gathering of lights, you know, even though, is that so? Did you ever meet, Gathering Light Harry? You ever met him? Well, a matter of truth, the truth is I have met him. And we do hang out a lot. And we do talk about our beliefs. We do talk about our holy days. We do onlook each other's beliefs. And every once in a while we both help out when we can when it comes to each other's holy day. So, no, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, you're not going to shame me or guilt me for doing something wrong when I haven't said or done anything wrong. Yeah, hold it right there. You want to know something? Faith says I haven't been around long enough. Shit. Fuck! I had been in the TWF long enough. I had free runs. And I think I can speak on the behalf of everyone that you can just stop being a bully. Alright? The mean, irked, angered man, so overplayed. Get over yourself. You behave as if you were the first man who ever won AEW heavyweight winnings. A lot of folks won it. Yeah, you were a former AEW heavyweight fighter. Yeah, you were a 2-time TWF heavyweight fighter, 1-time TWF tag team fighter. Get over yourself. We already had one shithead by the name of The Miz. And then getting you was nothing else. So, you can stop scathing, shaming, and guilting Father Yule because he hadn't done anything wrong. Well, that's right, Faith. I haven't done anything wrong. But I want to say, happy Yule, happy gathering of lights, happy gathering of followership. and I'll leave you off to do it. But you're not going to be getting the first thing you wanted on that gift on your list. Oh, and what would that be? Well, we'll just see about that. And I was going to give you out your candle holder. A new candle holder for you. So you could do the gathering of lights the good way. And I'll still give that gift out to you. Because I'm not going to hold a wrong against you. Well, we heard from Father Yule, Tony Schiavone says. Shit! Well, we heard from Father Yule, Michael Cole says, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman thought he'd come out here and scathe and shame and guilt Father Yule for not doing anything for the gathering of lights, which is, when you stop to think of it, is bullshit, Michael Cole says, because we all know he's done something for the gathering of lights. Well, Tony Schiavone says, I would like to think that Santa Claus or Father Yule or whatever you want to call him, I would like to think that he would have on look for other worships and he would give out gifts on those other holy days, Tony Schiavone said. Well, what do you know about it? Polly dangerously says. I never had Father Yule never gave me gifts on the 8 nights of the gathering of lights when I was growing up, and he ain't not doing it now. And right now, Faith taking down Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Faith, who stood up for Father Yule. Paulie Dangers, who says Faith should mind her own business. It was between Maxwell Jacob Friedman and Father Yule, not Faith. Paulie dangerously says, and Father Yule knows nothing about the gathering of lights. He knows nothing against the Jewish worship. Hell, he could be lying. He never hanged out with gathering of lights Harry or anything like that, Paulie dangerously says. Oh, and you're going to say that Maxwell Jacob Friedman had? Michael Cole says. You're going to say he's right for coming out and being a bully, being a creep, being a heel, Michael Cole says. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, body slam on Faith. Well, then again, Paulie dangerously says, if you're truly going to believe that Maxwell Jacob Friedman was in the right to bully and shame and guilt and shame and scathe Father Yule, who didn't do anything wrong, Paulie dangerously says. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, don't forget, I'm not saying that he was right for I'm not saying that it was right for him to be a bully or a creep. I was saying that he was right. Father Yule knows nothing about the Jewish holy day, the gathering of lights. He don't know about the Jewish folk and how they had a worship house and let enough ooze for the lights to run for 8 evenings and 8 nights. Well, I think by now, Michael Cole said, Paulie Danderson says, I think by now, Michael Cole, I think he's aware of the Jewish holy day, the gathering of lights. Tony Schiavone says. So I don't think he doesn't, so you can't say that anymore. Well, Michael Cole says, I don't know if he's going to be getting anything this year for the way he's been behaving. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman, right into the ring steeple. The former AEW heavyweight fighter, Michael Cole says. And Faith is now going to put him in the walls of Faith now. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman is going to yield to Faith here today on Rampage or Ramthrough, Michael Cole says. Don't forget, Tony Schiavone said, this was a man who 1 year hit someone with a Yule tree 1 year. Tony Schiavone said it was last year when he did that stunt. We were here when it happened too, Tony Schiavone says. By the way, Paulie dangerously says, for us Jewish folk, we call it the Gathering of Lights tree. Call it what you want to call it, Michael Cole says. Gathering of Lights tree, Yule tree, whatever. He hit someone with it last year, Michael Cole says. And after Maxwell Jacob Friedman not going to yield at all. You know, not going to yield at all. And now, he just slammed Faith like that. This match is over, Michael Cole says. Tony Schiavone said MJF's going to beat Faith here today on Rampage or Ramfru. Yes, he is, Paulie Dangerously says. From one Jewish man to another, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, go for the win. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding. Here is your winner, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, or known as MJF. Well, you know, as we know, that Maxwell Jacob Friedman, or MJF, has beat Faith here today on Rampage or Ramfru. And I want to know, Michael Cole says, what is that kind of scarf or clothing that some of you Jewish folk wear? Like some of you folks wear your hats, others wear that scarf when you happen to be out and about. I just want to know what is that scarf? Oh, you know, that I don't really know what the name of that scarf is, Paulie Dangerously says, but yes, I have worn it from time to time. Maxwell Jacob Friedman has worn it from time to time. Yes, it is true that some folks in the Jewish faith, Jewish worship, wear hats on their heads, or caps on their head, and other folks will wear their scarves or whatever around themselves. It's like you Christendom folk wearing your crosses or your rounds with Jesus on them. You know. Paulie Dangerously says, well, I always wanted to know what that was always about, Tony Schiavone says. But anyway, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, he beat Faith, and now Faith even though yes, Faith would be as a loser, Michael Cole says, at the end of the day, a lot of folks would see Faith as a winner. And here's why a lot of folks might see Faith as a winner. Because Faith stood up for what she believed was right. She stood up against the bullying, the shaming, the guilting, and the scathing of Father Yule, Michael Cole says. Yes, she did, Tony Schiavone says. And even though she lost the match, you know, she still was a winner when it came to doing what she felt was right, Tony Schiavone says. Hey, and what happened to minding your own business, Paulie Dangerously says. What happened to don't stick your nose into not your own business, you know? What happened to that saying? You know, it's between her and Father Yule. Faith should have kept out of it. All right, Michael Cole said, take it away, Jim Ross. Thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Faith here today. I'll be talking with a man who I have only seen, have my dealings with, since 29 between a while when I came to AEW, when my 3-diff run in WWE came to an end. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. All right, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, you already made it. You came out and shamed at everyone once again by bullying and shaming Santa Claus. Jim Ross, is that what you're going to call it? Bullying and shaming Santa Claus? I see it as my right to bully, my right to shame. God gave us 10 laws, and one of those laws I don't read was thou shalt not bully. Well, that's true, but what about what Jesus said? Love thou's neighbor and love thou's foe. And don't give me that, and you know that Jesus said it. We Jewish folks were taught we Jewish folk were taught to look and love others as well. Well, it has nothing to do with Christendom or Judaism or whatever. It has to be with you choosing to be a bully, a creep, and a heel. You know why? Because some fat, overweight, old, Father Yule is going to say he had anything to do with the gathering of lights. He does not. He never gave me no gifts on those 8 nights for the gathering of lights. And I'm out of here. Well, all right, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Good talking with you. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Jim Ross, for talking with Maxwell Jacob Friedman here today on Rampage of Ramproof. That's all the time we got here. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and Paulie Dangerously. We hope you like Rampage of Ramproof, and we'll see you tomorrow for Collision or Hit.